You're listening to the Esports Business Network podcast. Today's guest, Michael Crossman, president at Claim Your Fame and Claim to Fame Entertainment. Claim to Fame Entertainment specializes in hosting and sponsoring esports gaming, recreational gaming, and different entertainment-based activities in the capital region of New York State. Enjoy the show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Esports Business Network podcast. My name is Cameron Shelby, a.k.a. Aristotle, and I'm here with Trent Knox. How you doing, Trent?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Today, our guest is Michael Crossman. Michael is the president at Claim Your Fame Entertainment. So, Michael, how you doing today, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem, dude. No problem. And I believe I interrupted Trent and Michael here. They were having a decent conversation, so I'm going to let them resume that conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I actually have talked with him a bit before. Do you go by Mike or Michael? I see Mike.
I like Mike.
So,
yeah, Mike's cool.
You like Mike?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Mike has done a lot of things. I've heard his story a little bit before this. But let's go back a little bit. I don't want to get into that specific topic yet with you, but let's go back and talk about when did you start with esports, and what was your childhood like with gaming?
Nice question there. So I'll start with, growing up in the gaming generation with, Nintendo, Mario, obviously first game. But, I have a twin brother, so we were always competitive with things that we did with sports and everything. And, with the Nintendo coming out, when we had it, we used to compete against like Mario and how far we could get. And then like obviously sports games, and it really evolved into how like 2-player type of games, because obviously there's both two of us. So we're always competitive against each other about, who's better, like at sports games, who's better at shooters, who's better at driving games. So it was always competitive right from the start. And so, we turned that competitiveness into like sports. And then once we really got into like the PlayStation 2 era, PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, that's when you started to get into like the GoldenEye and, Tony Hawk and those games where you could compete against people, the very first forms of pretty much esports.
Mm-hmm.
And I know esports goes all the way back to the 80s with like, arcades and stuff like that, but it really didn't start taking off until obviously the big companies got back into it, and like the way games develop. So, we were big into like the Maddens, the FIFAs, played a lot of Warcraft 3, just, competitive games. And I always like to see where we ranked against other people, winning tournaments, placing and stuff. So that's really how I got into esports, is really just like competing, starting with my brother, my friends locally, and then just seeing like the growth of esports, tournaments at GameStops, starting there, and, Halo release parties. And, our first opportunity came when Halo was released at a midnight release at GameStop. We partnered up with GameStop. We provided, systems. And we contacted like a local Domino's or pizza joint, and we did like a little party, and we really said, let's make this professional. Let's start pushing this idea of, competitive gaming, so who's the best in the area. And that really evolved into, owning all our equipment, doing events with like the high schools and the colleges. And then obviously esports just really snowballed from there, and we kind of ride in the coattails of developing esports in this area.
Yeah, for sure. And you grew up in upstate New York, right?
Yeah, so I'm in Albany, which is the capital. It's about 2.5 hours north of the city, and it's in the middle of pretty much like, it's 2.5 hours away from Boston. It's 2 hours away from Syracuse and like 2 hours away from Montreal. So we're like in the middle of all these big, hubs of different, gaming places and like tech. And actually, in Troy, New York, here, there's Vicarious Visions, and they did like the Spyro games, Crash Bandicoot,
Mm.
Oh yeah.
and the Tony Hawk games, and they just actually did Tony Hawk 1 and 2. They redid it with the updated engine and everything. So that they're out of Troy, New York, which is 2 minutes away from here.
Nice.
So we have a pretty good gamer hub, game development like studios, and they do a lot of indie game stuff here. They just esports is a little behind here, which in any area where there's not a big population, it's we're there to help develop
Yeah.
it.
So back to the question that I was asking you before the show started that Cameron brought up. With your company, you're also streaming. When did you start streaming?
Yeah, so I dabbled in streaming a little bit when a few years back, like just to start getting brand awareness for our company. And our company, so there's two companies. There's a Claim to Fame Entertainment, which is an LLC and actually trademark in the esports space. That was started about 5 years ago, and part of building that brand and building that, like showcasing that, it was streaming, whether it was sports games or Warcraft 3 or like competitive games that way. So that was about 3 years ago, doing that. So yeah, I dabble into streaming. I'm not a full-time streamer. I don't consider myself like streaming Monday through Friday at set times, but I do stream every Saturday night. And I promote the company, and I promote like different things we're doing, especially with how everything is now. Everything's online.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do stream one night a week, and we do have a stream channel, obviously on Twitch, Claim to Fame Entertainment, and Monday nights we do Smash. Tuesday nights, I believe it's Pokemon. Wednesday is like a horror game. So we have a schedule. It's not all just me; it's our team. But yeah, my night is Saturday night, so I do stream Saturday nights.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, one thing you said that really intrigued me and kind of resonated with me a little bit was you said you had a twin brother, and that's what brewed this sort of competitive aspect in gaming with you specifically in the household. I can kind of resonate with that because I have a younger brother who's 2 years younger than me, but it was just me and him growing up. And so we would do similar things. We would, compete in video games and whatnot. But that's very interesting to me having a twin brother. Are you guys identical?
Yeah, we are identical, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, we're basically the same person with the same interests. Sports. We follow all the same teams. Well, mostly all the same teams. He's a Cowboys fan. I'm a Raiders
Mm,
fan. So yeah. So but yeah, no, we have that same like competitive style.
right.
We were big into sports, and we really like the aspect of esports and like how you can compete in it and something that you like and like earn either respect in the community or a little money. But I thought esports was a great avenue for the people that couldn't pursue their dreams in other competitive aspects, but saw to entangle the gaming and the competitive into one. I think that was what really drew me to esports and kind of providing that for the community.
Well, in the PlayStation 2 era, how did you guys decide who was player one?
So when PlayStation 2 came out, we were very big into Madden. So it was always like we'd play against each other. So there was never, I was always player one, just that's just how it started. I
Okay.
think it's a personality thing. He's older by 3 minutes, but I have that like take
You're the
charge.
dominant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in some things, it's funny because he's the talker. He can talk. I mean, he trust me, he can talk.
Okay.
But I'm more of the like let's get to business type of guy, and he's more of a let's paint the picture, talk about the colors, talk about the background. You know, he gets into details. I'm just
Right.
like, let's get to it. You know.
Super cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, you mentioned that Claim to Fame was not your only company, correct?
Right. So Claim to Fame Entertainment, like I said, was started about 5 years ago. It was just like a DBA, and we did like small little business things with like either GameStop or a high school birthday parties. And what we did was we went out, we got our own equipment, and that was our investment, getting the equipment, and then we provided the service of like a kind of like a mobile gaming service where
Right.
there's a venue, we'll set it up, we'll like kind of like music, they'll go and they'll hire someone, and then they'll do like a party. And we've done like birthday parties, we've done like holiday parties for companies. We did like a rock band thing, which was cool. We've done some stuff with like go-kart place, like a Mario Kart style tournament.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so we've done some fun stuff like that. And so that is really what spawned our second business, which is Claim Your Fame Inc. Incorporate.
Oh,
And
okay.
so we have two aspects of the esports industry. One is like providing like the gaming, and we call it gaming entertainment because we don't just do esports with Claim to Fame Entertainment.
Hmm.
We do like like the party, the recreational style gaming too. And then one of the big questions we were asked by someone that was interested in investing was, how are you going to brand yourself that's different than all these other guys that are looking to start this, and anyone can really get the equipment and kind of brand themselves the same way. And so that really resonated with me, and I was like, I was like kind of dumbfounded for a day or two, and I got back to him, and that's where Claim Your Fame spawned, and that's about building your brand and kind of what you're doing to build your brand. And so social media nowadays is like your brand. You post
Hmm.
something and people get an idea of who you are and reflect on the things that you say, whether it's good, bad, or whatever you're doing. People
Right.
associate with what you do on your social medias as who you are, and essentially you're creating your brand with those posts that you make, or if you're sharing someone's content, they'll people get an understanding of what type of person this person is based on what they're doing with their social media. So the way we want to translate that is, some of these kids that are trying to get into esports or streaming or content creation, you know, these guys are younger and younger and younger. So they don't understand the power of social media like we do, because we grew up in a time where there was no social media and it was like transforming the way we did things. And so Claim Your Fame is a tool that's helping this gamer or this organization or this streamer build their brand through their social medias, so that they could learn how to use it in a positive way, and that would help them with career opportunities or maybe job employment, especially in the esports industry and gaming industry. You're using these to gain like eyes on the product that you provide, and your stream, you put it on your Instagram, your LinkedIn, and so you're essentially promoting your brand on these platforms. So we wanted to give the gamers and like entertainers a platform that they could, you know, have fun with like leveling your brand and with the things that they're already doing. So, they're already posting on these social medias, and we're rewarding them for, building their brand, and hopefully we can align different brands together so that they could, you know, maybe get into a sponsorship or get into a career opportunity.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So it's Claim to Fame and
Yep.
Claim Your Fame. Those are two separate entities.
Yes.
Okay. So Claim to Fame, is that still something that's ongoing today?
Yeah. So we still host tournaments through Claim to Fame, and we're working with some of the high schools to build their esports programs. We're running their tournaments, and so what we do is we teach the students, how to run a stream, how to build a bracket, and how to run like a tournament organize. So Claim to Fame is really involved in that aspect of the esports, building it up and building foundations for like either an organization or a club. And like we've done work with Foxwoods Casino up here. We've done work with Dave and Buster's, Lucky Strikes Bowling. So we've worked with some big companies to inform them on how esports can, like, how they can get into the esports industry, whether it's running events or providing the space for events. Claim to Fame is really involved with that. And recently, before all this COVID stuff, we 2 years ago we invented this gamer prom. And essentially, at the end of a school year, we went into a school and they had this new idea to have like a tech prom. And so we ran like a mini little esports tournament. There was some cosplay involved. We had some workers from Blizzard talk and speak to the students. And we really had a business model that like the schools really liked. And so we secured a few schools the next year. And then unfortunately all the COVID stuff happened, so there's no meetings and parties and stuff like that. But it's a model that we're actually, we've created a business model for an esports or gaming tech prom. So
Right.
yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's a lot of it's a lot different now, with the gaming and the tech and game development. So we saw an opportunity where, these kids, maybe they don't like dancing and they didn't like that kind of scene. So it gives them an opportunity to celebrate the things that they like and see like the different opportunities with gaming, whether it's game development, social media management, and esports opportunities. And so the schools really like that because it gives a different perspective on different opportunities.
Yeah, it sounds very hands-on educational opportunities, and I think when it comes to educating like schools specifically, we're seeing more and more schools come out with esports teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Claim to Fame is really gonna play a big part in educating those schools and organizations about that kind of stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah. And, I think that's a big thing with, I talk to Trent a lot. I think Trent is one of the best people to talk to esports about. And we have some good discussions about how, like, there's organizations and there's companies that are looking to get into esports, and sometimes they don't know the route. And that's the same thing with these schools is they don't really, some of them are just clueless to like how to even start, and hopefully Claim to Fame can help them, guide them through their program and help coach some of their teachers into helping them develop a esports program for their students to have an outlet, especially now that some of these sports aren't even being played because of everything that's going on. You can have some of these esports kind of events online and create those online events where people don't have to get together.
Very interesting. And now, how did you two meet?
I met Trent, I think. Oh yeah, we met on Facebook. I saw his esports business, his page, and I reached out to him and we discussed a couple things. And I think our visions on esports align a lot. And just like, I think every time we talked, I think we learned something new and things that we haven't seen before. And a lot of relationships and partnerships start that way, where someone sees what you see but at a different angle. And I think we have the same vision on esports community. And I think, I mean, I don't want to talk for Trent, but I just
You're
say
right.
like I think every time we talk there's always something that we learn. And i I think people value that, value those type of like relationships.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Trent's definitely that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
definitely.
mean, Esports Business Network, the Facebook group, was where everything started, really,
Yeah.
for EBN at least. And I saw Mike had posted on a comment, and then he had posted a post about Claim Your Fame, which is what I think it'd be one of the best social medias for gaming and entertainment culture out right now. Uh, that's offering more than a lot of other platforms offer right now, as far as the gamification of this whole, social celebrity that we've got going on within music, fashion, and esports has been
Right.
is a key to that because of the gamification that you're bringing. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about Claim Your Fame.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, Claim Your Fame, we started about a year ago. Like we secured the investment for the idea. And essentially, I've been part of different think tanks for esports and different groups that have come up with different ideas. And recently, or I guess now it's like 4 or 5 years ago, I was part of a group that the developers of Player.me, um, which was a social media site for gamers, and I believe it's still around. I haven't really checked up on them, but they basically had the same. We had these ideas that we put together, and some people worked on them. Some people just were given ideas, and I was part of the group of just giving ideas because I always thought that there was something missing in the social media market for gamers. And so, I never really had the opportunity or the resources to get to what I needed or what my vision was for, showcasing gamers. But I always kept it in the back, just in case something happened, and especially with the social media movements that go on now. So I pitched the idea to an investor. He really liked it, and the idea was to help users or gamers, streamers, content creators, cosplay, musicians, DJs, anyone that is starting to get into that entertainment space, and they really don't know where to start. Like, okay, create your social media, start building your quote unquote brand, and just start creating content and start putting it out there and be consistent. So, I see you can do that on Facebook and you might hit a few. You can do it on LinkedIn. You might hit a few more. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it all on these social medias and post what you're doing. And you might hit a couple people, right? I had the idea of creating a platform for these users to, if they really want to get into gaming, these are the steps of, creating your brand, what you need to do with your social medias to really start get going. Like a lot of people switched, they want to switch to a full-time streamer. Well, some people don't even know where to start, and hopefully this tool can help them say, build your brand, create a gaming page on these social medias. Every time you post, make sure it goes on all these social medias. And we really wanted to give them like a platform where they can stand and promote themselves. So that's where Claim Your Fame came from. And, obviously the investor really liked it. We moved forward on developing the app, and it's both on Android and iOS. So we've developed it for both. We didn't just go one way and then hammered out the other way. So we really, our visions aligned about that. And he's big into music. He understands, like, a musician starting up, they have to create their brand as well. So we're really building this platform out for entertainers, but we're really focusing on the gaming aspect right now because, one, that's my expertise, and two, we see an opportunity for it right now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's where that really spawned from. And we really we're developing it so that it encompasses all forms of entertainment, so that people have a platform to promote their brand.
Interesting. Very interesting. So on this application, is it called Claim Your Fame? Just that,
Yes.
okay. Didn't know if it had a different name for the app. Um, is there any space for consumers? So if I wanted to go find new musicians or new streamers or DJs, even, would I be able to go on here and locate these people?
Yeah, so what we're doing in that space is we're hoping that this tool can help, sponsors or, companies that want to get into this esports space, uh, able to reach out to these users and see, this is where the gamification comes in.
Mhm.
We level your profile based on what you do on the app. You create an event, you have people check in, you upload a video, which is coming soon. You do these things on the app and you gain experience and which we call fame. And you level up your profile so that when people are searching for, a Call of Duty player, they're going to see the highest level Call of Duty player on the app. And you can either search by region, you can search by the game, or you can search by region and game. So let's say you're like a Comic Con and you're looking for one of the best Fortnite players, and you're going to be in Missouri, and you don't want to fly somebody out. So you're going to get on the app and you're going to look up Missouri and you're going to look up Fortnite, and you're going to see the players or the content creators that do Fortnite, and you're going to see a list from 1 to 10 on brand potential. And so, number one, obviously being the most brand potential in that region. So maybe you hire him to come, play Fortnite or a tournament against this player. And you know that on his social medias, when he announces that, that's pretty much advertisement for you that as a sponsor or as a company, that he's going to get X amount of eyes on this event. So this is how it's going to be used for those type of users that maybe are not into gaming but want that opportunity to meet a gamer, or maybe have an organization. Say maybe they're doing something in Houston and they want an organization. They go to Houston, they go to organizations, and then they have the top rated brand wise organizations. And so then they contact them and they say, hey, can you run this event for us? We're going to be doing something in Houston. And that's where the potential is coming in.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. It's I think it's a necessary item or application for people to have, especially at this time period. Now, what are some of the things again that people do to quote unquote level up in this realm?
So right now, the app is it's in alpha. We're still developing it, but
Hmm.
we have users testing it out, and we have some organizations on it, and we have some sponsors on it. And right now, you sign up, and you link your social medias, and then after you create your profile, it gives you a little congratulations for creating your profile. Here are the things that you can do to level up. And right now it's only a couple things, but we're adding more features. But right now we have a daily check-in to the app, similar to any mobile game that you're playing. They give you a free 24-hour cooldown, they give you some experience. So we have that. It's a one-time button. Every day you can
Right.
come in, check in, and this is getting users to come back to see what events have been created. What see some new users, maybe see if some people leveled up, and so there's that daily your daily points. The other ways that you can create you gain your fame is if you're a streamer and you want to start leveling your brand, you create an event for your stream. So say you stream Wednesday night. So Wednesday night you do whatever wind down Wednesday. Create your title, create your event, and now you've created an event. You get fame points for that. So it's almost like a currency on the app. Uh, Now every time someone checks into that event, so you have an allotted time for them to check in. So say you stream from 6 to 9, anyone during those time on the app can your event is announced, and then they can come in and check in. Part of checking in is there's your stream link, there's your website link, and now you have information in front of them so they can check out either your stream, your website, and any of those interactions gain you fame, plus the people that are on the app doing these actions. So it's creating like almost an economy of like, hey, let me check this guy out. Um, he and it helps him build his brand, and in turn, it helps me build my brand because I'm helping him, getting him a view, getting him, some exposure, And some of the features that we will be adding is, sharing that event, sharing that stream will gain you different levels of fame or different points so that you can, promote other people's streams and events. So those are the ways you can gain fame right now. We are adding a feature where we're adding some different content update where we're going to bring in videos and work as a clip system. You gain fame for the likes that you get on your video. If people share your video, they'll gain some fame. So there's ways to help people grow their brands. And then we're adding blog content where, if there's a recruitment for a team or someone looking for certain things for career opportunities, that will be presented on the app as well. And the more that's shared, the more points you get and the faster you level up.
It's very cool, man. That's like it's literally a social media site for entertainment.
Yeah, and one of the things that we really wanted to harp on and like focus on was we didn't want to have like a follow system because you need every social media has like how many followers do you have, how many engagements do you have, and that's where the level comes in. So we're not going to have like a follow system where this guy has 10 million followers and this guy has 10. I think that really disheartens a lot of people that are getting into streaming or getting into content creation, is how many followers can I gain and how many people are worried about that, and we really wanted to stay away from that. And so that's why if you share someone's content or if you like it or if you help share their event, you're gonna get rewarded with leveling up your brand. And there's the gamification of like you're helping somebody else out, but you're not getting like a follow for a follow or any of that stuff because you're already doing that with the other social medias. We're not trying to reinvent anything. We're just trying to help people get brand exposure and showcase like the work that they're putting in. And hopefully this tool will help people realize that it's about building that community and about building that that brand identity.
Interesting. And if someone were to want to follow, what would they do?
Yeah.
So we are going to add something, and we haven't figured out the word yet, but we're going to add something where there's like an algorithm of, you go to someone's profile, you like their content, you like their videos, you've seen some of their events, you like that. So we're going to have some kind of button where they're going to be like a favorite. So when they post a video, it comes up on your feed, and let's say you're a company and you have like 4 or 5 people that you're interested in, and you can go and like I said, we haven't figured out the word, but it's like almost like a subscription to their channel so that you're building like when they post something, it's pushed up your feed more than somebody else's. So obviously that's all algorithm and development. So that's why it's important that we get users on there now so that we can start building those type of the coding and everything. So that's how we're going to quote unquote follow someone, but it's just going to push their content more on your feed rather than like someone that just keeps uploading something. But the levels are going to be very important during all this like feed talk that we're the new update. People are going to ask what are these levels for? And so the higher the level you are, the more perks you get on the app. So you upload a video, you're going to go on top of the recent videos, like based on your level. So those algorithms are going to be in play. And so, say you're a level 15 account. Well, you upload a video, that's going to be shown more across the app than someone that might be a level 9 account, right? And these are the perks of leveling, and leveling your brand, because you're going to get more of that exposure. And different levels are going to unlock different things. We're working on some partnerships, maybe some discounts at some places, with a certain level, and then maybe an unlocking of more URL links. Maybe adding, if somebody wants to add a custom like website URL, that's at a certain level, they can unlock that. So we're going to give different perks. We're going to have different achievements for different things that you do on the app. So it's going to be like a game within a game, but also like helping build that brand.
I like it. I like it. I've talked with you a couple different times about it, and um,
Sure, yeah.
one of the things I think was impactful to me was what you were planning on doing with like the regional aspect of your application, and that on sign up you kind of claim your area as well, and you become kind of you can become sort of an authority in your region. And I was just kind of wondering what kind of integrations do you have planned for like in-person events when we do get in-person events back again?
Yeah, so there's a couple things that we're looking to add, and obviously, this is probably more of the next phase after this foundation phase is done with the video content. But one of the key things of live events and even I guess online events is, building your brand. When you win a
Hmm.
tournament, you get the prizes and they make a graphic for the top 8 and different things, right? Which exposes your brand a little bit more. So we would like to partner up with people that do events or even with our own events and reward fame points based on like placement. So if it's a Claim Your Fame sponsored event or partnered event, um, you got to make sure that you're on the app so you can get your points. But based on seeding or whatever seed you got, you may get some points to level up your brand because a gamer, some of their brand exposure is winning these tournaments, and obviously, if they're sponsored, their sponsors want to get more out of it too because they're going to be showcased as number one, and they gained all these fame points and it's helping level their brand. And then in turn, it's helping level the sponsor's brand, right? So we're going to add some systems where if we have a bracket, we can review the bracket. You're on the app, we can award you, 100 fame points for first place and so on and so forth. So those are some things that we're going to integrate with some different events across different organizations where it's helping them build their brand and getting exposure more, to these different opportunities. That being said, that's something that we need to develop, and obviously we'd like to partner with different organizations to help get exposure that way. But it's a fun way of like leveling up your profile too, because going out and doing these events is almost as important as doing your stream because you got to be part of the community and you got to show that you go out. One of my pet peeves is like some of these top players, they don't go out to locals anymore and they don't go and support these local little things. and
Mm,
and I think
hmm.
part of esports is like, you know people are going to age out of esports, people are going to retire, and you really need that influx of newcomers. And just like sports, sports fans are gained every day based on what athletes are doing, and they're part of the community and they do these things with one-on-ones and stuff. And esports has an opportunity to really re-engage the fan and really build that if they get these guys that have made it to come to these events and say, hey, I was you once, I was grinding here, and this is what you can become if you really work at it. And a lot of people think, oh, I just have to be really good at a game. No, you really have to build your brand. You really have to get out there and like show that you're bringing value to an organization or to a sponsor, because in turn, like just like a sport, one day you're going to be done with that. So Ninja did it the right way. He built his brand and look what he did. And you're going to see a lot of kids like, oh, I
Hmm.
want to do esports, but why, if I'm not winning in esports and I'm not making money, why don't I just do my own thing and build my own brand and build my own empire? So you're going to see that trend with esports and gaming and streaming. I mean, you already see it with all these viewers on Twitch, and everybody wants to be the next Dr. Disrespect or, some of these big streamers, So esports needs to find that delicate balance of like community, brand, and, getting those new faces in.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Earlier, you talked about us being kind of aligned in our visions and mindsets and something like that. I really agree with you. You brought up that point, and I sometimes wonder Ninja is a unique example, I feel.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
he has done his thing and kind of grew up in this way. I don't know if he's an industry plant, in the way you would talk about like other entertainment places. But I've noticed lately in especially the LinkedIn community, which I kind of feel like we're all kind of sharing the same stage right now. We're all kind of passing the microphone around, but there is a certain demographic of people that are in the professional esports realm that claim some authority, tenure on the space that I've been noticing on the social platforms. I've kind of been being kind of degrading towards up and comers and people who are trying to establish their own thing. Have you been experiencing that or seen some of that?
Yeah, it's almost like, and I see it in sports too, a lot of people are in the
Hmm.
space and they've made it and they forget, oh, well, maybe some of them never really grinded, and a lot of it now is, just like anything else, it's a grind. You're an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, you're creating, and those guys don't really need to create. And sometimes you just lose that. You lose that vision of like how you got there. And
Yeah.
I've noticed it with, some people that I've talked to where it's like, hey, good luck, and that wasn't the point of the conversation. And I, when I talk to someone and I take my time to talk to someone, I really want to get something out of it, and I'm not
Hmm.
looking for any handouts, but I'm looking for just like maybe some education, or maybe I'm not a different perspective.
Hmm.
And I feel like when I talk to some of these guys, they don't offer that. And I think esports is missing that because, just like poker, poker was huge and riding high, and it was on ESPN, and it was doing all these things, and they got
Hmm.
brands. But then it kind of just staggered out. And I feel like esports can take that aspect as well. Like if you're not helping, feed the bottom and the grassroots,
Hmm.
you're really just gonna dry it up. And
Yeah.
and I feel like that's what happened with the poker brand. Like I think it's still there and it's always gonna be there because it's poker.
Hmm.
Just like video games will always be there. But you really need to have that gateway of like top to bottom, and it needs to have that like
Yeah.
if I want to reach out to somebody, it's not just like, hey, good luck, it's like, hey, I respect what you're doing. These are the things I would do, and just some guidance. That's some of the things that some of the most important conversations I've had is like, hey, this is something I would do. Maybe I don't pick it up right away, but I just say, getting a different perspective always helps. And I think esports might be missing that a little bit, but you'll see it with these education and these high school esports leagues, and people are starting to realize, oh, we might need
Hmm.
to dial it back a little bit and start expanding. There's enough to go around in esports, and there's enough to go around 10 times for everybody.
Hmm.
So let's just make sure that it doesn't go away and dry up like poker did. And nothing against poker. I love poker and I love what they did with the branding and the ESPN stuff, but I just think they missed the market on it because again, it's a very niche thing where like you have to be a certain age to play poker, and there's certain like, events that you can only go to and stuff. So like you really, when they dried the well, they dried the well, So I just don't want that to happen with esports. And I think it's starting to change a little bit, but you're like, yes, I've had conversations where it's just been like, all right, man, that
Yeah.
was not
I
helpful,
think, with
So
poker, there's a lot to say about what you just said, actually. But poker,
yeah,
has, generations after generations of people who've participated and played the game, and is more highly regulated than any other gaming activity in the
sure.
world, I think. Esports, I think, it's complicated to get there with that. But one of the things I want to say about what I said before was inversely, we're seeing like, and this is why I kind of sympathize with the guys who are like, kind of degrading or kind of trying to downplay the value of newer up and coming people, is because there are some guys that are getting into the esports business and just going for the money. They don't really have
Mm-hmm.
the passion for it. And it's not necessarily young guys. When we're talking about this, we're usually talking about people who have aged out of their or doing tradition. They're transitioning out of a long term career and looking for investments. They see esports, it's an opportunity to invest in something like that. But it's guys like you.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys like Ninja. There's guys like me that have all come at it kind of at a different part of the gaming culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where the value comes in. Now, there are those guys who are newer guys who never were a part of the gaming culture. So there is that. And I do sympathize with that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about gaming, though, when it comes to regulation. Obviously, there's a ton of, the Global Federation, the, National
Yeah.
Association, this. But it really doesn't bring me much value because when I hear those people talk, they talk like, sorry guys, boomers.
Yeah.
It's like that you don't have a clue what it means, and you're not like your comprehension of what Fall Guys, their comprehension of what Fall Guys means to esports. They're like, well, this doesn't look like a esport. This, or like, I don't know, what's the next mobile game that comes out? They're just not paying attention. They think that the only place to make money is in PC gaming or wherever they find themselves looking at the
Right.
mainstream of esports.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because I do esports business like around the world, and I've done stuff with
Yeah.
African nations. I've done stuff in the Philippines. We've done stuff with events over there, and you can really see like that PC gaming is big, but like, mobile gaming is huge and there's so much opportunity there. It's just what fits the agenda for these big markets, and over in the Asian countries, mobile gaming is like the number one thing, like, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just not here, maybe based on just timing and age or like development and what like they can have control over. Like the esports leagues,
Mm-hmm.
like the Overwatch League, and leagues like that are controlled directly here. With the mobile gaming, you really can't control like what these developers are making, and they have these like global federations and stuff. So I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of people that want to get into esports, they see it's a $1 billion industry and they see money and they're like, well, let's just cash cow, and like
Mm-hmm.
that this isn't like Bitcoin. This isn't like, hey, let's get in early, and when it makes when it splashes, let's get out. It's like you really need to
Mm-hmm.
focus on the community and really like I said, there's enough to go around. Like if you do it right, you
Mm-hmm.
set up a foundation, you make a network, have connections, you're going to be fine. Some people just don't want to take that route. They want to find a person that does that for them and then associate their name with them, which is, hey, that's the way they want to do it. That's completely fine. It's just there's different avenues. And I think it's just a little bit more authentic when you're really in the grind and you understand it from that ground level, that grassroots level.
Yeah, I think you got to enjoy the culture. And that's one of the things that I've noticed from investors and people who get into gaming. They just don't enjoy the culture of esports as much as they like to think that it's just a emerging technology like um, any other thing like healthcare
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. Just
Mhm.
just a way to put their money in and make an investment. But if you really love the culture and you're going to events and you're participating in online, going, watching your favorite streamers, then it's a great investment. It's like a long term life decision, I think.
Yeah. It's like investing into like getting a minority stake in like a football team.
Yeah.
Like you're very interested in the sport, you watch it, and now you have a little piece of it, and you really have to understand like the football culture. Some people don't. Some people are like, football, like, really? But like it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's like a religion in the South, and like the people like don't understand that, and like
Hmm.
when you see people trying to bid for football teams, is because they know that there's money there. But like, what kind of background do you have in the football? Like, You could be a fan, you could be like someone that's interested in the teams and like management, but like that's like, esports. It's very sports and esports are very similar in those aspects of like the business management of it.
Yeah. And in terms of business, now that we're on that topic, I was kind of curious, because Claim Your Fame is not a nonprofit, correct?
No, it's not.
Okay. So how are you planning on making revenue off of Claim Your Fame? Like, how is that going to work?
So everything we offer for the app is free. Obviously, we want to build a community, and nickeling, diming like people that are getting started isn't really our vision.
Right.
And I don't think that should be anyone's model, unless you're in it for the money, which businesses need to be. They need to make money. But everything that we're generating and return on investment and our plans is based on getting the users and then using those users as like a platform for advertisement. So we have XY Madden players or this many Fortnite players. In turn, we can advertise certain things, like maybe you're an up and coming a new game, you're a new PC built from a company, maybe you have a stream kit that you want to sell to people that are beginning streaming. You can advertise on our app, and you can advertise it with these streamers that are learning how to stream. So it in turn helps these companies that are like, that's their demographic, and we're essentially bringing it to their forelight, and they can just advertise with us, and we can create a marketing schedule for that. And so there's different things that we can do on the back end of it. And then of course there's like things that you can do with like promoting someone's profile if we want to go that route.
Right.
That's something we really aren't thinking, but with how Facebook and how Instagram, you can like promote a post. We might have something like that. Might be something where you unlock with a level, you get a free one, like a boost and stuff like that. So there's different avenues, but we know that users for us equal what we want to get to. And
Right.
we want to provide the best quality of this platform for the users so that we can go in turn help other companies like promote to them or advertise to them. So a lot of our return on investment is going to be on that back end of advertisement. And
Right.
you know what, if I was someone that was running a PC company, if I could get a demographic that's just players rather than just do it on Facebook, there's your advertisement dollar going to a better demographic. So that is something that works for us and how our plan works out in kind of like the long run.
Yeah, that's very a very good way of looking at it. I mean, you do have other brands in competition with specific esports related brands on platforms like Facebook and Instagram competing for that spotlight.
Yeah.
I see I see all kinds of different ads on my Facebook personally.
Yeah.
Especially ones that I've been talking about. If I talk about needing a new haircut, next thing you know, I'm seeing a new advertisement for like a shaver or some sort. So yeah, I think that's brilliant. Now, will there be any plan in place for someone to pay, like a user to pay for more experience to level up?
So that there is talks of having like a one-time level boost to help your brand. We just want to figure out the way we're going to do it, because we don't want somebody to the pay that's not really vested into it, because then it really throws off our demographic. But maybe we can see a user that's hit a certain level, and maybe they want to get an extra boost, or maybe they're late to coming in and they're like, oh man, I should have started this when alpha was out so I could start leveling my brand. And they're really on the grind and they really need this like boost in their their brand exposure. We may be offering something like that, but again, it's something that really determines our algorithms of We don't want somebody that's been grinding and really building their brand to get outshone by somebody that just wants to pay dollars for it. And we understand this is a capitalism world and money talks, but like
Yeah.
we really want to have that sense of like, hey, I've organically built my brand.
Mhm.
I don't want, and so we're figuring this out. It's
Right.
the good thing about starting a business and having these ideas is like, and not a lot of people get this opportunity that I have. So I'm blessed to have this opportunity
Mhm.
to really have my idea invested in and, shown to the world. But, we really want to have this organic grassroots feel. And like, we wouldn't be mad if Ninja was on the app, like, of
Right.
course,
Yeah.
but we will also want to know, like, allow people to like, the work that they put in is what they get out, and I feel like that's a very blue collar way of looking at stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that's what esports. I think that's in our research there, that's where the opportunity is, and if you can hit that demographic, I think that's what really is missing in the esports space is like you get what you earn, not what you get what you're handed, So like I think we might have something like that for a user that's been around for a while and they just need that boost.
Mhm.
But it might be in a different form of a boost. Maybe like their events are showcased a little bit more, so that they get more exposure that way, and it helps build their brand a little bit more
Yeah.
organically than just giving them 10 levels right away. So there's different things that we're working on, but right now we're very focused on just getting users and really getting some feedback and getting the experience. Like this is the most exciting time in an app because this is where you can mold it to what you think it should be,
Right.
and with feedback. And I think we've gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of good feedback, a lot of bad feedback, a lot feedback is feedback from me. So, and I really like the stuff that helps us think critically about what we're going to do next, because we want this app to help people and help them level up. So it's definitely, anybody that's interested in helping out that way, that's the best way you can help out.
Yeah. Before we let you go, this would not be the Esports Business Network podcast if we didn't talk a little bit about competition.
Yeah.
So, who do you think is your biggest competition? I know you and I have talked about eFuse, but who do you think out there is like that you look at and you're like, we want to beat them, we want to race against them, we want to be out there.
There's a couple, but like what we're doing is really different than what eFuse does. And kind of
Mhm.
like there was Clutch. Unfortunately, they just closed. They did video clips, and they had a unique system of like clip of the week, which was cool. And
Mhm.
they unfortunately had to close up shop in August, early August. But there's another one that's like Melee or Mealy. And it's the same thing. They upload your clips and like get people to like it, hype it up, and you get experience. Cool idea. There's a gamification aspect of that, and you know, but I don't think there's anything like what we're doing, because we're really focusing on building your brand. We're not focusing on what clips you can upload, and we're not focusing on like the event specifically. We're focusing on what you can do for the community and what you bring and what kind of value you're going to bring to an organization. So I think I take some ideas from those guys. I like some of their ideas, and I like but I don't think there's anything out there like that, and that's why I think there's a great opportunity here. But if I would have to say, I would have to say like eFuse. I really like what they're doing, but I feel like they're more like LinkedIn. I
Mhm.
think LinkedIn does the same thing that they do. And I think they just really focus on esports, which is awesome. But I think esports, if you pitch yourself to esports, um, there's only so many ways you can go. And our platform is very esports based, but we're building a foundation for entertainment. And there's different things out there that do cool things, and some are just websites, and some are just apps. Right now, we're just an app, but we're obviously building the back end of our website with a user base. But yeah, I think those were the things. Like when I said when I saw the official app of esports, I was like, God damn it. But I was like, like I said, there's enough to go around, and I applaud anybody that is taking that risk and really putting their stuff out there, because it takes a lot to get that done. It takes a lot of hard work. And what those guys have done for the gaming community, I think is amazing. I think it's great.
Mhm.
I just think that there's opportunity somewhere else with like, our whole thing is like, hashtag build your brand. I think a
Mhm.
lot of the movement and gaming and entertainment is going to be about branding. I mean, we see it all the time with actors. They see something on their social media and they're canned from like the sequel, and they might have made millions of dollars on the first movie. So you really need our vision and our goal is really to teach these young aspiring entertainers, gamers, that esports or that social media is a very powerful tool, and if you can manage that, you can lead to different opportunities.
Very nice. Very interesting. And as you and I both know, and Trent, there's a sea of possibilities that this could become. And I think that's very interesting. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more about that in the future. But as Trent said, this would not be the Esports Business Network podcast if we did not ask this traditional question in closing.
Sure.
So, if you were a beginner and you met yourself today,
Yeah.
how would you go back and give yourself advice if you were a beginner?
So the biggest thing that I would do, and the biggest advice I'd give myself, is make sure that whatever you do, you're creating content, and you have content, and you're consistent, because that is really any business model is, they're creating content, whatever business line you're in, you're creating content and you're being consistent on it. So if you're going to post weekly, you make sure you post weekly. If you're going to post daily, you make sure you post daily. Like, you need to be as consistent as possible, and you need to create content. And if you and sometimes, like myself right now, I'll have a bunch of content, and I'm like, oh man, I have this cool clip, I have this, and I really want to just put it out there to the world. But you really need to sometimes just slow down too, and just say, okay, I have enough content for the month. I don't need to put it out in 2 days, and I really need to be consistent in where I'm posting it. And, it might be a pain to post it everywhere. And you might like feel like you're annoying your friends on Facebook or on LinkedIn. Like, oh my God, this guy posting every day the same thing. But guess what? You're gonna leave an impression, and you're really building something there. So, you know, a lot of people, like, they feel like they're getting judged with, like, man, like, I see a lot of people do like these Facebook businesses, or like, anything that they try to get friends, like 10 followers on Facebook. Listen, I respect those people because they're creating something and they're putting the grind in. And when I see someone doing that same thing a year later, they gain all my respect, because a lot of people just like, they get a message from someone saying, hey, stop posting stuff, it's ruining my feed or whatever, and then they stop doing it. Like, no, you need to be very consistent on what you're doing.
Right.
You need to put the blinders on and have your vision and know where you want to get. And I always say, content and consistency, and then if you have those, you're building the foundation to the things that you want to do.
That's couldn't be said any better, Mike. Is there anything you'd like to say? Any plugs? Anything? How can they follow you? Drop your links. What we got?
Yeah, sure. So all our marketing that we do for social medias for Claim Your Fame is done through our Claim to Fame Entertainment stuff. So it does get a little confusing, but let's just say Claim to Fame Entertainment is like the marketing brand, the marketing company for Claim Your Fame. So, like, our Twitch is Claim to Fame Entertainment, our YouTube is Claim to Fame Entertainment. We've really honed the market on Claim to Fame Entertainment. We actually got trademarked in the esports space on claim to fame. So anything that if someone says, "Hey, what's his claim to fame?" and it's like something to do with esports, we have that trademarked. So which was like something we did last summer, which is pretty cool. We also have our logo, the C with the star. That's trademarked as well in the esports space. So everything we're branding really is the claim to fame entertainment. So Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, everything is Claim to Fame Entertainment. And then obviously I have my personal ones, which you can find on all those social medias because I'm the one, pushing everything. And then obviously, I have, we have our website, claimyourfame.gg. And really that's an informational piece about the app, a little bit information, a little video on, how to sign up and with the different features. Obviously we have to update that with the new features coming out. We have some blogs on like how to build your brand. Um, we have great articles about like how to build your Instagram, 5 tips on how to build your Instagram, 5 tips how to build your LinkedIn. So if people want to check that out, that's on claimyourfame.gg in our blog section. We also do an awesome, unique thing called Path to Fame, which is quote unquote our blog section, but we're highlighting different entertainers or esports space, people building their brand through the app. We're going to do like a blog following their story. So we have a cosplayer. We have a coach we have a player that's looking to get into coaching in the esports space. And then we have a high school student that's looking for a scholarship in esports. And so we're following their journeys with the path to fame and how the app is helping them get exposure. So those are cool things that we're doing. We're also offering a scholarship that students can apply to, and it's $1,000 to a student that's interested in joining a varsity esports team, and then we also have $1,000 for someone that may be interested in studying esports business. So all that information is on claimyourfame.gg.
Awesome. Mike, once again, Mike Crossman. You can find him on all the things as he said. Appreciate you for coming on the show. We look forward to having you back again another time.
Definitely.
But for us, you can find us on Discord. You can go to discord.ebn.gg, join the Discord server, join the Facebook group.ebn.gg, and join the community. We're growing on LinkedIn. Our LinkedIn presence is pretty much a aggregate of all of the best and current events in esports. So go over and check out the LinkedIn. But anyway, I'm Trent Knox.
I'm Cameron Shelby.
And this is EBNP, the Esports Business Network podcast.